Good, good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever is in is where whatever time it is, wherever you are. My name is Tristan. It is January 12th. So I'm gonna be discussing my opinions on the popular horror indie game Poppy Playtime. And as this chapter 4 is going to be coming out on January 30th, which is this month and this year. So I'm going to be discussing my opinions on and the chapters and the characters themselves. So I'll start off with chapter 1, which features Huggy Wuggy. I honestly see the appeal. I like how Huggy Wuggy acts throughout with the game in being a relentless chaser that always finds a way to find you.
Wait. Did you say the name Huggy Wuggy? What does he do? Kill you by giving you lots of hugs?
Hey, he's actually more aggressive than you think, Dad.
Aggressive cuddles.
No, I'm actually serious. Then we got chapter 2, which it features 4 characters: Bunzo Bunny, the Mini Huggies. Anyways, Bunzo Bunny, the Mini Huggies, PJ Pugapillar, and Mommy Longlegs. I'll start off with Bunzo Bunny. Bunzo is a kind of weird character in my opinion. And he's a birthday person that knows everyone's birthdays. He hangs from the ceiling ready to eat people, stuff like that. And then the Mini Huggies. I honestly don't really see the appeal on. I'm not saying I don't like them, but I just don't see what's so shocking about it. They're just a smaller, different colorized versions of the bigger Huggy Wuggy that we saw in chapter 1. PJ Pugapillar is actually one of my favorites because I love pugs. And I just think that it's kind of cool how his minigame is basically kind of like red light, green light, and tag, except PJ just can move on his own whether lights are on or off. Then there's the main threat, Mommy Longlegs. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of controversy about this, but I'm not a big fan of Mommy Longlegs. She is not a good character in my opinion. She's weird. She's odd. She's strange. I don't know. Something about her just screams. It just screams abnormal to me. Not that giant and monster toys that are actually experiments that were performed on, so they were once human turned into toys is normal, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just abnormal to me. I don't know why. Then, and there's chapter 3, which is the only chapter that is out at the moment. And then I'll move on to some of the characters as we've seen in chapter 4's production. So I'll start off with the smile. So I will start off with Miss Delight. She's honestly my least favorite character in chapter 3. She's not interesting. She's not she's just like, I don't know. She's just not that cool in my opinion. Then there's Kissy, Missy, and Poppy. We've seen both. And we've seen Poppy from chapter 1 and onward, and we've seen Kissy Missy in chapter 2. So these two are characters in the story that we play is familiar with. and so but they're on our side, so they're not really aggressive. So, and then and then next up, we get to see a character called Ollie. We don't exactly know what he looks like yet, but he seems to sound like a kid, and he's also helping us, much like Pop, Uppy, and Kissy Missy are. Right. And the next character that I'm going to talk about are the mini smiling critters. Because I honestly think they're cute, but I don't really see that much appeal in them. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like them. I do like them, but they're just not really unique. It'd honestly be cool if each of them had like unique mechanics. It's like the Dog Day plush would be the fastest of the group, and the Catnap plush would be able to put you to sleep. And speaking of Catnap and Dog Day, I'm going to be talking about the smiling critters next. It's starting with the leader of the bunch, Dog Day. The cartoon version, I don't really mind that much. He's energetic, he's playful, he's always trying to make sure everyone's having fun. He's kind of like me in a way. And then we got Bobby Bear Hug, who I personally think isn't really that much of a big character, or at least in the cartoon. In the role of the game of Poppy Playtime, I don't know. You can theorize about that on your own, but I feel like she's more like a side character, the side support character that's just is put on in the bench and Joe all the time. Then there's Bubba, the smart one of the group. I feel like he is a unique character because he is an elephant, and in him being the smartest of the group actually makes sense. And it's like a lot of the other characters. Whereas he's very skilled with that math and stuff, and I don't exactly know how big his role would be if he would appear in Poppy the Playtime, the game. Excuse me. And the rest of the characters like Hoppy Hopscotch, like Hoppy Hopscotch, Cake and Chicken, Picky Piggy. I don't really think they'd have that big a potential as characters in the cartoon. I mean, at least not on their own. In the Poppy Playtime game, I think some characters would have a very big role, such as Kick and Chicken, Hoppy Hopscotch, and Picky Piggy. Hoppy Hopscotch, and Picky Piggy would be antagonists. I feel like Hoppy Hopscotch wouldn't. It honestly have been traumatized is by the amount of stuff that a certain character, I'm not going to say who yet, a certain character would have put her through. The Bare Body version at least. But I don't really think she would trust us. And Picky Piggy, I feel like she's just completely insane. I feel like her hunger instincts have just completely taken over her. The only character I feel like would really have a big role, besides its dog, Day and his best friend, who we'll get into later, would be Crafty Corn. I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like Crafty Corn would be a good love interest for Dog Day, and a good secondary antagonist aside from Catnap, Dog Day's best friend, and in the one I was talking about with, I was talking about Hoppy Hopscotch's bigger body form. I like him both in the cartoon and bigger body. The Dog Day bigger body, I'm not the Dog Day bigger body. I'm fine with, but I feel like he could be better. But Catnap in the cartoon and bigger body form is honestly pretty good. Catnap being possessed by one of the orphans. It's from Playcare, which is basically an orphanage in Playtime Co., which is where Poppy Playtime takes place in. Named Theodore Grambell, and I like how Catnap in the cartoon is seen as creepy, mysterious, and odd. He's like the odd one out of the bunch, and I feel like if he was an actual cartoon and Catnap kept at that side of him in that specific cartoon, I feel like a lot of the critters would be weirded out and creeped out by him, but they wouldn't really mind it as much. And I don't really think, and the only one I think wouldn't really be affected by how he acts at all is Dog Day, which makes sense. And the bigger body form, I honestly think makes a lot of sense to me, because Catnap as a character, himself as a character, would probably be able to. It does seem like the kind of person who would serve a higher being or a more powerful entity than himself. So I like the fact that Catnap serves as the prototype, who we've actually seen glimpses of before, or in both Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. And I do like his nightmare form, which makes him look more skeletal, more creepier, and it honestly makes sense for it to be called a nightmare form, because it does look like a nightmare. He did have so much potential, but unfortunately he was killed at the end of his boss fight in Chapter 3. And now we'll go with the characters who were teased for Chapter 4. And I'll start off with the Doctor, aka Harley Sawyer. I feel like I'm honestly interested to see what Harley's role is going to be, as Harley was the one who came up with the idea for the Bigger Bodies initiative, which was the experiment that it created the bigger bodies or the monstrous toys that we see in the game in the first place. I feel like him being called the Doctor isn't interesting, and I'm kind of interested to see how they play on his name, and basically I'm interested to see if he's going to be on our side or if he's going to be antagonist. Now you can controverse this all you want, but I think that the Doctor is going to be the main enemy. I feel like Harley Sawyer is either the prototype or is working for the prototype, and either Harley Sawyer is going to have his own boss fight, or him and the prototype are going to fight, are going to have their boss fights together, as in they will both be in the same boss fight. Yarnaby, I'm honestly think is would be more of a chase type of enemy that would probably be killed during the first meeting. Pianosaurus, however, I honestly see it as a different story. A lot of people are saying that Pianosaurus could be another antagonist, but I think that Pianosaurus could actually be a good helper for our character. I feel like Pianosaurus, even though he is a dinosaur, I just feel like he wasn't really on the prototype side. What?
You like Pianosaurus, are you saying?
Yes.
So he is he a piano, or does he play the piano?
Oh, look it up. I'm I'm not asking you, and I'm not telling you the answer. Look up the characters and actually do research for once. Gosh dang it. Anyways, so piano source I feel like would be a helper to our character, or while Yornaby would probably most likely be in more of like just an enemy that would chase you and then get killed off in the first chase. Now I'm gonna and now is the final lines and the prototype. I don't know if the prototype is going to appear, but I have a feeling that he is, and he's going to be like the final boss of the game itself. I have a feeling that Chapter 4 is going to be like the grand finale of things. I just have a really big feeling because of how Chapter 3 went. But it does. So this is going to be my opinion. So I'm going to do the Nightmare Creators, and I'm going to say who I think is going to officially be in Chapter 4 and who is not. So I think Baba Chops is going to be the main antagonist of Chapter 4. Besides the prototype and Harley, that is. I feel like Baba Chops would basically be like their guardian, or like the final test you would need to prove your worth to fight against them. I don't know. I feel like Baba Chops is kind of like a catnap type of character. She's obedient. She's loyal. She is cunning. I just feel like that's going to be the case. Icky Licky is a character who I don't think is going to be in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. I feel like with his wit, with his snarky, he's sore loser or type of personality. It just, I don't know. It doesn't fit with the theme of in that Puppy Playtime is in my opinion. Raby Baby, obviously, I feel like is going to be in Chapter 4, or she's just going to be more like an alert based type of enemy that would help Baba Chops. Alistair Gator, I honestly feel like Alistair Gator would actually be a helpful character. Like Pianosaurus, he would help our character, and he would go against the prototype. If Maggie Mako, on the other hand, that's a different story. I feel like she wouldn't be on either side. I feel like she would just be on her own side. Heck, for all I know, the best she'll be doing is like a big chase scene, a boss fight, then the prototype comes, kills her. Poe, I feel like, would be another helper, like Alistair Gator and Pianosaurus. He'd be able to step into the light, and he would do the best he can to try and free his friends from the prototype's control without killing them. But that's not going to be successful, I do not believe. If Simon Smoke, I feel like, would be another antagonist, like Bob with Chops. However, he'd be more like a rushed space character, or more like a go, come on, head on, fight first, just planning questions later. Or he'd be kind of like Yarnaby. He'd have a chase, he'd have some kind of boss fight, and then he'd probably be killed off by probably Maggie Mako, Pianosaurus, or the prototype, or some other character. And then we have and the next character we have is Tuli, and I honestly do not think that he is going to appear. I feel like he's not really that type of enemy. I just don't see him. I don't see him being an alert type. I don't see him being an enemy or an ally. I feel like he'd probably be one of the critters that are dead. It's probably the ones that are dead before our character appears. And it's about all I've got from what I actually know about Poppy Playtime so far. So, if you guys like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be sure of it, to make sure or catch up on when we upload other videos. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Unless you have anything to say.
No.
All right. See ya.